Happy Vlogmas 24. It is Christmas Eve. I don't have any makeup on at all, and my hair has kind of not been styled, but I am baking, and so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I am making this pumpkin roll, and this is a recipe that I've been making almost every year. Last year was a failure. You have to use wax paper in your baking sheet. I used parchment paper last year and it really messed this up. So you have to, first you're separating your eggs. I'll post the recipe down below. You separate your eggs and you beat the whites with sugar until I'm going to show you close. You first beat your 4 egg whites with ½ cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and that's how they should look, nice and light and airy like whipped cream. And now I'm going to mix together the moist ingredients, which are the 4 egg yolks, which I have separated over here, sugar, pumpkin puree, and ½ teaspoon of vanilla. It's very important that you use pumpkin puree 100% pure because you don't want pumpkin pie mix. So anyway, ½ cup is going to go into my mixer. So I always make my whipped egg whites first, and then if there's some left in there, it's not a big deal because I'm going to throw everything else in. So hold on, I'll be right back. I didn't realize I hadn't hit record. You do need a jelly roll pan sprayed with Pam, or make sure it's fresh. I had outdated stuff that kind of ruined something a couple weeks ago. So first you spray the jelly roll pan, then you smooth in wax paper. Don't substitute parchment paper, it will not turn out. Then you spray it again, and then you spread everything in the jelly roll pan. So on this recipe, I always do my egg whites first because it leaves stuff in the bowl, and I have a professional grade mixer my husband bought me a few years ago. If you get a KitchenAid and you take good care of it, it'll last you a lifetime. So anyway, what is in that bowl is the 4 egg whites, ½ cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. You don't add the granulated sugar until you've got almost to this point, and then you gradually add that. Next, I'm going to put the egg yolks, ½ cup of sugar, ½ cup of pumpkin, and a ½ teaspoon of vanilla into the mixer bowl, and mix that up and slowly add the dry ingredients. The filling is, I use an 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. I don't go down to like trying to get a 6 ounce, but I leave the same amount of butter, vanilla, and sugar because it comes out delicious no matter what you do. You could add a tiny bit more sugar if you want to, but it's not really necessary. So you put that in a jelly roll pan and bake it at 350 for like the amount of time you would bake a cookie, which is like 12 to 15 minutes. So I'll be right back. I'm going to put all the other stuff in here, not including the dry ingredients, which are in this bowl. If you use a whisk, you don't need to use a sifter. It's just, whisk is just basically to make things a little bit smoother. So anyway, I'll be right back. There it is in the oven, and that will level out a little bit, and then it has to cool in powdered sugar, which I have out. Okay, so you flip the cake out of that pan onto a powdered sugar towel, and you peel the wax paper off. And it doesn't look pretty, but it will be pretty when they eat it. So I'm going to sprinkle this with powdered sugar and roll it up in the towel. Okay, once it's rolled up in the towel, by the way, it makes a real mess. Once it is rolled up in the towel, then you set it aside to cool because you don't want to frost it with the cream cheese frosting before it's completely cooled down. Okay, so I'm going to move on to cleaning up all these supplies, and then I'll be making the cream cheese mixture and setting that aside until this cools. And there it is. I didn't cover it yet because the frosting is ooey gooey, so normally I get all of it inside the pumpkin roll, but didn't work out this time. So anyway, I'm gonna post this video tomorrow on Christmas Day because I have to get everything ready. And I'm exhausted. Oh, I also made these cupcakes, which I just covered. Anyway, here they are. They are pumpkin cream cheese cupcakes. So anyway, hopefully they're good. It's the first time I'm making them. So anyway, thank you. And this will be posted on Christmas Day. But this is for VLOGmas 24.